Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Ooh. How about that? Oh my gosh. Is my microphone broken? I think this microphone might be broken. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. It's so I've been gone for a week. I think yesterday the kids were able to get into my office and I think they might have done something to my microphone because it's not doing nothing. Here, hold on. So let's get some background music going on here. Oh yeah, we need voice meter so I can hear it. You can hear me now though, right? It worked before you broke it. Yeah, it's a little weird. I can't imagine how they possibly could have broken this. um, I'm still skeptical, and I'm gonna try another test here. Hold on. So I forget what the deal was with this one. Uh, so like my first thing is with this microphone. No, this one is a condenser mic, so I have the 48 volt turned on. This one is a dynamic mic, so it needs it with it off. But when it has a button, it has a switch to turn it on and off. When I turned it on, I could hear like the noise floor. When I turned it off, I didn't hear the noise floor. So that really strongly implies that it was the microphone. This is a two interface one. So I'm going to grab the other cord. I'm not sure how I don't remember how I attached this microphone to this stand, because this is like the 3/8 inch microphone stand sort of connector. And what I've got attached here is different. Oh, I see it. I know what I'm supposed to do. I might need to get a screwdriver to do it though. Okay, so hold up. I'm gonna need to get a wrench so that I can switch the attachment here. And oh man, this is how could they have broken it? That's so crazy. Okay. Hold on a second. I gotta fix the boom mount now. There we go. Is it ASMR? I hope that wasn't too damaging to your hearing. Get it at the right level and crap. It's gonna sound very different. It's actually probably gonna sound a lot more rich. Probably can turn it down just a little bit. Dude, that is crazy. What could they have possibly have done to it? So you made a little snap when I pulled it out. I don't know. I have a strange attachment to this microphone. I kind of want to keep it. So I think I will send it in for repair. It's probably just like a short. It's probably just like a wire bat or something, right? It's probably nothing too serious. Let's clean all this crap off my desk now that I pulled out. There we go. Let's see here. I'm also getting like hearing the echo. Oh my gosh. What a dumb start to the stream. So someone told me to watch you, God Mernen. Is that a person's name? Who was it that told you to watch me? You go back and tell them, oh my gosh, he was such a terrible streamer. Like his microphone didn't work at the beginning of his stream. Let's put the pop filter on this here. Okay, how's that? And is the volume good on that? I've got it pretty compressed, so it should be a little... I think I could actually turn it up a little bit on this side so that I can hear myself a little bit better. There. So YouTube is telling me there are new emotes. Is that... What's this? Yeah. Well, they're standard emojis, but I think those weren't there before. Although on my other interface, it gives me the ones that were there before, so that's interesting. Well, anyways, okay. Oh, so we need to go through and analyze the market action. So today is Juneteenth. It is a bank holiday. This is getting kind of weird. This is like what, only the second year that this has been a federal holiday, and before that nobody had ever heard of it. I don't care what people say. It is this is a holiday that like popped out of nowhere and was not widely celebrated before this. But it is a federal holiday, and it's one of those. It's become one of those holidays where like the banks get it off and nobody else does. So. We might get some weird action today, even though we are in a period where I think that there's probably going to be some selling in the treasuries. So let's come over and analyze some of the action of the past week over here on the volume profile. So you can see here on the treasuries some wild days last week. Still quite a bit of volatility. So was the 13th a Fed day? No, the 13th was the day before the Federal Reserve. 14th was the Federal Reserve, actually barely constrained before that. But we're still kind of on a somewhat of a downward trend, coming back down towards this low from before. And the whole thing is the Federal Reserve, they did not hike. So some people are saying, oh, like this is the end of the cycle. But then some other people are saying that actually they're going to have to pick it up. This was like the most hawkish non-hike ever. It's all super weird, because before that it was like a dovish hike, and now we have a hawkish pause. Like what? That's weird. And here overnight you can see very clearly some significant selling. So we're gonna have a lot of supply starting to come through here. We'll look at that in a bit. S&P 500 meanwhile had some crazy days. I mean, look at this. Some of this movement was wild. Now the end of the week was really where it got crazy, because we had a ton of options to expire on the Friday, and they were pushing it. This was like a classic gamma squeeze, but then all of these guys got punked and it came back to 44.50. So kind of funny, but mostly all just trading in the end. Oil, meanwhile, continues to just be, whew. Yeah, there's been some pretty wild moves in oil, as well as they argue over what the global demand and supply is, and the Saudis are doing stuff, and it's all just crazy. Okay. Gold and silver, still ranging here, but ranging towards the bottom end of this range. Still hurt by the treasuries kind of turning a little bit hawkish. Copper, okay, copper's doing not too badly. So there's been some concerns about global growth and in China. A couple of the headlines that we got overnight did not look too good, to be honest with you. But copper, at least, well, copper is down today, but overall, given the trend and everything, I'd have to say it can't be too bad over there for them, right? And let's come over here and look at the dollar. Dollar down a little bit. And Bitcoin, after taking a drop. So remember that this stuff over here was like Binance and Coinbase headlines, right? But then it reversing, them pushing down even further last week, and now a quick turnaround. There are some big boys over there in Bitcoin doing all sorts of who knows what. Okay, so that's what we got there. Now let's come over here to Forex Factory and look at what we got for news for the week. And let's filter this just to the US. There is a meeting. There is UK rate decision later this week, just to note. But okay, so Chairman Powell will be testifying about the semi-annual monetary policy report before the House Financial Services Committee. Is it really already that time? Wow. Okay. So that and today is a banking holiday. Tomorrow we do get some numbers, but that kind of sets us up to probably have a little bit slower of a start of the week. Okay. What I'm really looking for though is when are the next auctions? Oh, it's not them. Let's go to Treasury Direct. Auctions. Upcoming auctions. Oh, okay, so we do have some bill auctions this week that aren't showing up on that calendar. And then we get 2-year, 5-year next week. Is that next week? Yep, starting next week. Oh, we get 11-year, 19-year, and 11-month auction. What? 21st. That's Wednesday. FRNs. They don't have a 10-year schedule. Is there a what would I be looking for? There's like the Treasury refunding announcement or whatever. Let's see here. Where would that be? Oh, we already did 10-year bond auction on the 12th. Okay. Now it's not the Treasury currency report. There's current account, but that's not what we're looking for either. The thing that I'm looking for isn't necessarily always on this calendar. Federal budget balance. Maybe if I come up here to the filters and none, and I just say bonds, central bank. It's a quarterly report, isn't it? Do I need to roll over my instruments? Which ones? No, it should be you, right? Oh, but ESU, yeah, I need to roll over ES. You are correct. Oops, wrong button. Let's see your ESU. There you go. There's not a lot. Oh, but that's because it switched me back over to, let me change the tick multiplier again. There we go. I was going to say, not a lot of liquidity. but I guess it's what it was before. Let's see here. You get rid of this extra slack in the microphone. Well, shoot, if I have to replace this microphone, what should I do? Is it time to move over to a Shure SM7B? I don't know. I've constantly been like, well, this microphone is not really the best for live streaming, but I never really got down to like what would be a better one. What would be a better replacement? I feel like my face is a little bit too dark. I changed the camera settings a little bit, I think. What if I did more like... Well, that's what I feel like would look better. Let's tone it down just a tad and do that. Let's see here. I'm looking for like Treasury refunding announcements. See, it doesn't always show up on all Treasury quarterly refunding. Well, I don't know when it happened last. I think it already happened, though. The quarterly one already happened. So we're interested in when they're going to be selling the bonds. You get these, you're going to have some selling in the treasuries, you know. Well, I think there's a good chance that we still see 4% in the 10-year before the end of the year. But that's hyper speculative. I couldn't really say for sure. I couldn't truly say for sure. Okay, so is there anything else I've got up here that I need to fix? Okay, no, I think that's all fine. I think that my workspace is all fine. I should probably come into NinjaTrader here and save the workspace. Man. Now all I can think of is, what are my options for a microphone? A lot of the newer microphones that would be pretty good have are more USB. I'm surprised your streaming today is going to be a snooze fest. Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a week, so I feel like we had to come in, but you're right. It might be a quiet day for trading, for sure. Nah, you know what? I don't like this. The lights being a little bit brighter. I think that they should be there. And I should just, let's see here. There. That's more like what it should look like. Holidays are always the same. All dojis on the chart until you can't take it anymore and get off your computer, and then suddenly a 24 tick sell off out of nowhere while you're I don't know. Like today is a weird one because it is a holiday, so the banks aren't going to be doing business today. So that's the thing. For us in the treasuries, some of our biggest customers, some of the biggest players in the market are the banks, and the banks aren't going to be doing any block orders or anything like that today. So it tends to be quiet, right? But I think that there's still reasons for the markets to be moving this week overall. Like there's not a ton of news to come through, but now that we've got the Federal Reserve meeting behind us and all of that, I think that you're likely to see, you know, some of these other forces come in, like pressure on the treasuries because of the government refunding itself after the whole debt ceiling crisis and all that sort of stuff. Like the flows are likely to be sell. And the same when you come into the S&P 500, you're starting to come back into earnings season again. So you're going to have stock buyback blackout periods is one thing that comes into it. The seasonality isn't particularly great either. And you know, we're always kind of on a knife's edge because of the amount of power that the CTAs have right now. So wouldn't take very much for the S&P 500 to turn down and to turn into a lot of selling, right? So it doesn't surprise me, for instance, to come in and see that there was a fairly significant downward move overnight, for instance, in the treasuries, right? So it's going to be one of those frustrating days where like it seems like nothing's happening and then you get this move all at once and you miss it. You blink and you miss it, right? Yeah, it's very likely to see that today. But on the other hand, we have a whole week's worth of stuff to talk about because a lot happened last week without me. I would not have chosen that day to be my vacation, but I would not have chosen that day to that week to do my vacation, but I don't get to pick those things, so. And let's see here. I mean, well, there's the Federal Reserve meeting, which was actually maybe the least interesting one. But again, it came out to be a hawkish, or sorry, yes, it was a hawkish pause. It was like there was a pause, but the dot plot showed that they expected to do 2 more rate increases this year, which the market did not have penciled in. In fact, the market was saying that the Federal Reserve would reduce interest rates this year. Well, they've completely taken that out of the pricing now. But that was one of the longer term questions that we had, was will the Federal Reserve be forced to reduce interest rates in the later half of 2023? And it looks like the market has shifted on that particular question. It's a significant change for us, right? And that kind of goes back to this thing where it's like, well, you know, be careful about market pricing because it might not necessarily mean what you want. Right. Oh, what's Thor just saying? Audio Technica 2035. Yeah, I could do one of those. I don't know. I like for me, I think the primary thing is like the way that it sounds doesn't really matter too much to me. I think that it should be a dynamic microphone. I mean, this microphone does color it a little bit, but the thing is if I was to go all the way to a all the way to an SM7B, I don't think this interface can really handle it very well. It's an I2I. It's a Scarlett I2I. So I get 2 inputs with it. But even for this microphone, I felt like I had to turn the preamps up a little bit too high, higher than I would like. So I don't know. I guess a USB microphone wouldn't be bad, though I would like to do other recording stuff. So I don't know. Okay, so what else happened last week? Donald Trump was indicted, right? Now the indictment one is actually a little bit more interesting than I thought it would be, because they released some information about the indictment that just really doesn't look very good for Donald Trump. Like, I believe that this is largely a political prosecution. I think that this is largely, they're saying that the Biden administration had nothing to do with it and all that. That's bullshit. I think there's some evidence there to suggest that the Biden administration wanted them to do it. But I also think that it came into that the stuff that they had looked so bad, because if you're trying to manipulate an election, something like that, right? Is it really worth it, right? Because you know that Republicans are just going to rally around Donald Trump, right? His favorability ratings have gone up and things like that, right? Well, so why would they do it? Well, there's all this stuff in there about, you know, him showing documents to people and bragging about it and stuff like that. I don't think that, like, he compromised the national security of the United States in or anything like that, but it doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good. It really paints a picture of somebody that is just not responsible with sensitive information. And I think it does kind of hurt him. Like, I have a really hard time at the moment seeing Donald Trump winning a general election right now. I think it'd be very hard for him to win a general election. And that does affect the primaries. If you come into the primaries and the primary voters know that their candidate would lose for sure, then they pick somebody else. So I think there's still a possibility that Donald Trump does not win the Republican nomination. It's uncertain about what's to go down. I mean, I would even say I think this is a remote possibility, but I think that there's even a possibility that this gets bad enough that Donald Trump pulls out. Like, I think there's got to be some point at which he says, you know what, this is what I'm doing is actually like really negative for everybody and I should just drop out. It's possible. Unlikely, but possible. But I think that people like vastly overestimate Donald Trump's chances in the Republican primary. Because the reason that all of the, you know, prognosticators and stuff are going to say, oh, he's almost certain to win, is because of polling. You poll, you know, Donald Trump is up pretty widely against his challengers, right? But the problem is that most people don't know the challengers. Like, those kinds of polls are really not even worth looking at until after Labor Day in September, right? So, and then even then, that's just when people start to get the news. That's just when the news cycle of it picks up. And you know, as things go along, it'll get tighter, right? So I think that there is a very good possibility that one of the Republican challengers starts to pick up traction and does well in the debates against him and kind of shifts the momentum, right? And it would most likely be Ron DeSantis. I just looking at like the campaigning side of it, the DeSantis campaign infrastructure is very impressive for this stage of a contest. They have built a very, very smart organization, and they're already building a really strong get out the vote kind of organization. So if this does come out to like a real battle, you know, where it's close and there's a contest in one state in particular that, you know, things kind of come down to the wire and stuff like that, I think Ron DeSantis has the edge in that particular situation because he has a better organization to get people out. It really does. So I really would not discount that possibility. I don't think like right now, like if you went to, let's see if we can go to Predicted. Predicted has not been the best since the last election. They kind of, I can't remember when it was, but there was one particular market that the way the result came out was a little shady, and I haven't seen people as okay. Well, they have Donald Trump at 53%. I guess that's fair. Interesting that Tim Scott is now at 7%. So if I come down and look at the charting of that, when did he... Oh, I don't know. It's had to have been further back than that. Oh, really? I didn't know that he's above Haley? Since when has he been 7%? Wait, now if I get rid of Trump and DeSantis and I turn on Haley... maybe 90 days. Yeah, it was around May that he kind of he had a little bit of a jump up. Tim Scott has done really well in some interviews. So that's another one where like I think hardly anybody has ever heard of him. You know, I don't know if I want to get involved in Predicted again, but I think the best trade right now is to buy Tim Scott. I think that Tim Scott could get, you know, maybe 15, 20%, something like that, right? It's interesting that they have Glenn Youngkin on there because I don't even have him on my list. Has he I don't think he shows up in the polling. Here, let's go to Real Clear Politics. You know, we're going to be doing this more and more as things come along, especially after Labor Day. Then that's when these start to really matter. Oh, come on. It's not going to. Oh, here we go. National GOP. There we go. Okay, so we're interested in anybody above 1%. So Youngkin, I don't have him on my list, but I guess I should. He wasn't at 1% before. He wasn't even on the list before. Lots of other polls didn't even have him. Oh, Governor of Virginia, yes. Scott is higher than Ramaswamy. That's... yeah, so like this one right here had Ramaswamy ahead of Scott. Haley, Pence. I would, if I were to rank them right now, I think they would be Trump, DeSantis, Scott, Tim Scott, right? Then Haley, Pence, Ramaswamy. But then there's also Christie jumped into the race. He probably should be higher. Now, I don't think that Dems will get the majority in Congress. Let's look at that. House races up in 2024. House election interactive map contested 2024. Consensus forecast still has the Republicans winning, although less than before. Let's see here, most competitive. This isn't the best in map. I think we could get a better map than this to show how many are... it looks like... Well, and where are the ones that are contested? It does appear to me that Republicans have the edge on in this, but let's see if we can find a better... Okay. Oh, there's one that leans Democrat, New York's Mr. Santos, that might flip. That's going to flip, right? So that's -1 on the Republican side. Okay, so Republicans, I see. So when you come into the toss-up ones, right, Democrats have 11 and Republicans have 14. So Democrats have a slight edge, but it's not, that edge alone is not enough to flip the House. Let me come back over here. So if we pick up, so that's 19 on this side, and wow, 29 on this side, but none of these are likely to flip, right? So it looks like that the balance of power in that House of Representatives is likely to narrow a little bit, but it would probably take something significant for it to flip to the Democrats. Now let's see here. 2024 Senate. Jesus. Senate. Oh, geez. Oh, that is tight. That is tight. So Republicans have the edge, essentially, because there are 3 seats right there that are full toss-ups, and the balance of power is only like +1, right? Like right now, there are 48 Democrats, 49 Republicans, and 3 independents in the Senate, right? So for instance, if Republicans flip Sienma and Manchin, they'll definitely get Manchin, right? They'll definitely get Manchin, so then it would be Republicans. That alone would make it 49, 48 Republicans, right? And then they could potentially pick up another 1 or 2, right? So, yeah, it's likely after this next election that Republicans have a slight edge in both the House and the Senate, actually. Isn't the market closed today? No. So it is a holiday, but the CME still has their instruments going. But it is a holiday, not likely to see much activity. Yeah. I don't think that my company has that as a holiday. I should double check that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be taking any trades today, but we'll see. We could still see have something happen. It's possible. So yeah, 2024 is going to be an interesting one. Just note that, you know, if there's any chance, let's see, our tester in Montana, that one's maybe possible to, I don't know. It would have to, it would take like a really significant shift in one direction or the other to really change the likely outcome in terms of Senate and House balance. So that is super interesting. There are a couple of these California ones, though, for Republicans that don't look good. California, New York, the ones that Republicans have to defend are places where it might be difficult for them, where they might have a disadvantage. And the places where the Democrats are defending are kind of, I don't know, North Carolina, maybe. Ohio might be hard. Pennsylvania. There are a little bit more toss-up areas, though. So, okay. So, I wouldn't. I mean, I guess I say this all the time, but I think that the political landscape is one right now that could actually be much more fluid than people anticipate, in terms of like Donald Trump and the presidency. Can ChatGPT help me code on NinjaScript? Probably not. So ChatGPT can try and write you NinjaScript code, but it's probably not going to compile. And so unless you already know what you're doing, it kind of ends up being not helpful. And if you do know what you're doing, asking ChatGPT doesn't actually end up coding it for you faster. Like, it's more work to fix all of the errors that ChatGPT gives you than it is to write it from scratch. I've been really frustrated by ChatGPT because I get all of these people messaging me and like, oh, I tried to make this thing with ChatGPT, but it doesn't work. Can you help me get it to compile? You know? So I really think that we're in a large language model bubble. We're in an LLM bubble. I don't think that large language models are nearly as capable as everybody pretends that they are. That there's a bunch of influencers out there that are talking about it constantly because, number one, that's like the hot thing to talk about. And number two, they're all enamored with it because these content creators aren't really making their own content. They're just reading stuff from other people and then regurgitating it in a way that relates to their audience. They're not actually like generating new ideas, new content. And so to a person like that, yeah, ChatGPT is like amazing, right? Because it does your job for you. But, especially in the area of trading, if you want to have success in trading, you're going to have to be coming up with your own ideas. You're going to have to be doing things that are uncommon, right? Because if it was common, it would already be arbitraged out of the market. So I find that for writing, doing stuff in our space, that ChatGPT is not that useful. It could become useful if it was trained on the right data and, you had stuff for it to interact with people and stuff like that. Right now, the tools are not quite there. So I give you an example. There's this website called character.ai that you can use to create your own ChatGPT style characters, right? And they give you all sorts of properties and stuff so that you can create personalities for these robots. So if you, for instance, wanted to talk to Albert Einstein, you can go to characters.ai and you can look up, somebody might have a public character based on Albert Einstein, right? But the robots like forget. Like the LLM will only factor in like the last X messages that you've spoken to it. So if you teach the character something, it doesn't remember it, right? But they're working on changing that. So if they got the character to the point that you could say, if you're the creator, then you can teach the character things and it will remember things that you've taught it and stuff like that, then you might be able to use that to create an AI to help you trade, for instance, right? There's also like being able to incorporate live information. There's a project that's doing that they're able to ingest a lot of information into the model efficiently. So, you know, it's a developing technology, but where it is right now, not that useful for trading. If you want to write code, just learn to code. Okay, it's easier for you to go and learn how to code with the tutorials that I have on the channel than it will be to try and get ChatGPT to do it. Does ChatGPT learn from me and steal my data? So kind of, because every question that you give it, there are employees that will read the question and the response that it gave and possible alternative responses that it could have given and rate them. And the language model then factors that information in for future responses. So don't feed your deep secrets to ChatGPT, because people do read it. There are employees that like their whole job is to read ChatGPT questions and rate them all day, right? That's how they were able to do it. That's one of the things that I don't think people understand, is that like the amount of resources that you have to pass into these things is actually quite tremendous. It's not a trivial thing. So, okay, so what else happened last week? There were some other big things that happened, but I can't recall. It's not coming to me. Oh, Reddit. Oh my gosh. So, you know, the whole Reddit blackout thing was coming. It came last week, and Reddit was kind of a ghost town. So, I don't know if I really had like a strong opinion of it before that. You sound energetic. Well, I'm using different, I don't know. Anyways, I think that Reddit's days are numbered. I do. I made a comment about this in one thread, and I got this army of people that were like, nah, it's probably not going to affect anything. I feel like there's this group of people that anytime that there's like any kind of drama of that sort, any kind of like a boycott, people are like, yeah, boycotts don't work. I don't think that that's true. I think that boycotts kind of had a hard time before because of Donald Trump, and there would always be like a counter boycott, but now it's kind of turning into like, you don't want to piss them off because it does hurt. And Reddit, with this Reddit thing, it was like 30% of their content and stuff. It hurts. And when things like this happen, like when this happened with Reddit, because I don't know if everybody remembers that, but I was around for that time and I was paying very close attention to that. So I think that it reminds me a lot. I think this current situation reminds me a lot of when Dig went down and everybody moved over to Reddit. But the thing is when that happened, kind of happened slowly. There was like one shoe after another. Now, the funny thing with Dig is that the things that killed Dig were actually like way more trivial. Like they changed the user interface and people didn't like the user interface, right? It was very different from this API change that basically like I'm not going to use the official Reddit app. I'm not going to browse Reddit on my mobile. So yeah, when they make that API change, I think they're going to lose a lot of activity. Like, I think it might be 10-20% of traffic. Okay. So does that kill the website? No, but for somebody that's like trying to IPO and stuff like that, it's not good. Yeah, this microphone will probably sound better in some respects because it is a condenser microphone. So you get it's going to sound a lot more open. The disadvantage of it is that if this was during the school year, the kids getting ready for school, you would hear all of that. So that's why, and you don't get as much of a broadcastery voice. But this morning, for whatever reason, this would not work. So I think that one of the kids must have come in and bumped it, and, you know, something came loose in it, and it's not working right now. And I don't know if I should repair it or what. Or if I should look at a better one. I don't know if there's a better mic. I think I would probably go for like the Rode Podcaster. I think was the dynamic USB microphone for them that I remember looking at and thinking, oh yeah, that looks like a really good microphone. Internal capsule shock mount and pop filter. Yeah. It's probably the way that I go. Oh, I already have one of those. So maybe I could use that with it. Yeah, so now Reddit is doing some stuff to like force subreddits open. Here's the thing that I don't think that people realize. Nobody gives a shit about Reddit, right? The communities, it's not easy to start a subreddit. Like if you just go in and you create a subreddit, people don't necessarily just show up. Like the subreddits that people would think to put in as a name and to go and get, those are already largely created and stuff. Most of the activity that happens on Reddit were like communities that were created and cultivated, right? And so when the creators of those communities move, you're going to lose a lot of users because the users have more loyalty to the individual communities than they do to Reddit itself. Right. They've been down that road so many times now. I feel like that that the internet community has been down that road so many times now that they understand that places like Reddit are services and that eventually they try and screw you over, right? To try and become profitable. So it would have been easy for, I think, for Reddit to say, well, okay, we do need to charge for the API, but maybe it shouldn't be such an exorbitant amount, you know? But they didn't. They were really defiant in the face of that. I think it's really going to hurt them in the end. And my thinking right now is that Reddit's days are numbered. Like it's probably still going to be around a year from now. I don't really see like a super viable alternative right now, but people are going to be looking for it. I think their days are numbered. So that's the Reddit thing. But I also wonder, because when I said like, I think their days are probably numbered, I had so many people saying, probably not. I was like, that does not seem organic to me. Right? When you say something and you get like way more responses than you should to it, always a little suspicious, you know? Always a little suspicious. Yeah, I feel like there were some other things that happened last week. What else did we talk about? I think the Reddit thing was probably the biggest one. Yeah, okay, so let's think about microphones now. Now it's on my mind. Fast, dynamic, XLR microphones. Am I tan? I don't think so. I mean, I was out there, right? I was outside. I wasn't outside that much. I would spend most of the time inside. No, I don't think that I'm significantly more tan. than I was before I left or anything like that. I don't know. I got good color though. I'm definitely more tan than I was in the winter. Like, holy crap, I was so white. I was so white. Yeah, mostly though, I stayed inside for the most part, I think. Oh, is the pod mic? They don't know much about Reddit. Yeah, a lot of people probably don't care about it. Oh, what was it that, oh, they were recommending an Audio Technica. The RE20 wouldn't be a bad choice. I think I'd rather... I think the Rode mics are probably at the top of my list, but... Well, geez, S&P 500 has not been open for too long, and it's taking a little bit of a dive here, isn't it? Yeah, I think what I would want is the Procaster. That's a 229. I feel like there's been some more recent microphones, though, that I was like, oh, that would be a good one to get if I didn't already have a mic. I'm primarily concerned about the form factor and how it fits with the arm that comes up from the bottom. Like there's this beacon mic. I wasn't too impressed with that. There was some issues with that one. It's kind of funny though, like everybody, there used to be like that was a big thing. Everybody talk about microphones, and then like people kind of forgot about them, stopped caring. Maybe it's just because if you want the higher end one, you go for the SM7B. Does Elgato have one that's XLR? I wouldn't be opposed to using a USB, but it would still have to. I would still want it to have an XLR in case. Man, the treasury truly is dead this morning, isn't it? It has barely moved, if at all. Yeah, Elgato has one, the Wave DX. Oh, there, Daniel Inskeep had I tried becoming a funded day trader part 2. Oh, we have to watch that whole saga, don't we? The Rode X, what's that? Oh, I see. Streaming and gaming division of part of Rode. So how does this XDM 100 compare to... I want to like mute the microphone sometimes and I can't. I really miss the switch, man. The switch on this thing was one of the best parts of it. Oh, these are only USB-Cs, so. Hmm. Ugh. So I'm looking at this Daniel Inskeep video. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna watch it right now, but let's see what the top comments are. So like 3 down. One of the best pieces of advice I got as a new trader was trade what you see, never what you think. I absolutely despise that piece of advice. I think it is one of the most misleading and useless pieces of advice out there, because I think the idea with trade what you see, never what you think is kind of saying trust the technical analysis. And the issue is that the technical analysis is all BS, right? So a lot of the edge that you have is in what you think, that you're trying to predict the future orders, and what happened before doesn't necessarily matter, right? And the next one below that is advocating ICT. It's total, which again is, I think, is total bullshit. Yeah, Daniel is wrong. You definitely don't. Were they taught? Was he talking about that in the video? This is gonna be interesting. Maybe I need to make a video about that. Hmm. I guess the other thing is there hasn't been very many like brand new microphones released since in the last like 6 months, so. I'd like to ask Harris. I wonder if he's around. I haven't seen him stream in a while, so. Are you posting ticker symbols in my stream? Get out of here. We don't need any of that. If you're stuck in a losing position, just deal with it. Coming around to our stream for the 16 futures traders that are here trying to perk up some interest in some obscure ticker. Probably not going to get you very far, bruh. Sorry. I don't think any of it. Like this really is the most dead I think I've ever seen the Treasury, isn't it? Are you still there, Uzi? Can you think of a time where the Treasury was worse than it is right now? Because this is bad. I could maybe think of times where it was about equal on it, but like this is. Oof. Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, we knew that Juneteenth was a real holiday, but it's kind of like that if you had any doubts in your mind left that it would affect the markets today, you definitely know for sure now, right? This thing has got to be like it's got to be fixable. I guess I can take. Where are the screws on this? I've done this before. I think I've done this before. Ah, yeah, there they are. Opening up the capsule, maybe. I don't know, man. It sucks that it broke. I mean, it's good that I have another microphone. It's a good microphone, but still. Hmm. Well, now's a good time to come over to Zero Hedge and see if there's any new headlines here. Irish Green Party calls for limiting free speech, of course. Jeez. Biden press secretary declares herself a historic figure. Not many good headlines here. Hmm. Hmm. I tell you what, though, if Reddit does kind of go away, where does it go to? Because I've tried some of these other competing websites or whatever. Was not impressed. Not impressed. Hmm. Look at this. It switched me over to TweetDeck preview again. What was it that I didn't like about it again? I don't. Oh, it was the font. Yeah. Okay, wait. Display. Dim. Maybe I should have taken the day off. Good grief. It is slow. I thought, oh, I have so much to talk about today, but I don't know. Airbus wins the biggest aircraft order in aviation history, notching a 500 plane sale to India's dominant airline Indigo. I guess I could just use this microphone for a while, at least until the end of the summer. Well, thank you, Emir. I really miss doing the stream, I tell you that, because I was like, all of this stuff was happening. I was like, oh, we gotta talk about it, because I feel like the places online to talk about things suck right now. You know what I mean? Like, freaking, like, Reddit is just a disaster right now. There's not really... I guess we need to work a little bit more on Discord. New mic gang. I don't know. What are you thinking? I'm leaning towards a road right now. I don't know if it really matters. I'm sure that this microphone would sounds really good. I mean, this is what I use for oh, is it AKG? I don't. So this one came with the audio interface. So I tell you what, I got a total steal on this thing. So it's an Focusrite I2i. I think it's the 3rd gen one. It's not the newest one, but it's like a 3rd gen. I think they have a 4th gen now. But it came with the audio interface, headphones, and the microphone. And I think you're right. It may be an AKG because the headphones look like an AKG. I'm not a fan of those headphones for some reason, but I don't know. These are the ones that I got on. These are weird headphones. A lot of people don't like these headphones because they've got this port. They've got this extra port here to be able to handle the air pressure difference from the extra bass, I guess. And so you get it's really bassy sounding headphones. Essentially, and a lot of people don't like that, but once you get used to it, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's right, this is what it should sound like, etc., etc. So it's great. But these ones are just not created. Like the Pioneer, like the top end headphone for Pioneer, real good, but everything else is kind of like the ear pad was coming off and everything. So like I replaced the ear pads, but since I've replaced the ear pads with genuine sheepskin leather, they've been fine. I've been happy with them. But I don't like those AKG ones. Anyways, I would like to get headphones that are like wireless, but I haven't found ones that are low latency enough for me yet. So, but yeah, this microphone is just a studio condenser mic, so you're gonna get a lot more top end from it, right? And that's gonna sound good. So you notice it probably doesn't sound as broadcastery today. The problem is if there was anything going on in the other room, you would be hearing it. So I think that it would be a good idea for us to get a new dynamic mic, either a new dynamic mic or fix this one. But this gives us a good excuse to get rid of this. It does. I think the advantage of this one is it looks cool. It does. It looks cool. But I don't think that anybody actually cares about that. You know? I'll definitely try opening it up and, I don't know, shaking it around and trying to get it to work. I can't believe that it's not working. Like, I know that the baby was able to get into the room and had messed my desk up, but man, can't believe that it would hurt the microphone. Because this thing it's all metal body. Like, this thing is a tank. I can always, if I really, really want the dynamic microphone, I can always pull out my SM58. I do have that around here too. the other issue is at that price point, I could go towards a USB microphone. Must have fitted with some, I don't know. I really am having a hard time figuring out what he could have done to have really done that. I don't know if that's strictly true. I think that there are some high-end USB mics now that are as good as an XLR. I think the advantage that I would get with one that is USB is some of these, like Presonus has the Revelator, right? And it has like more advanced plugins to attach to it so that the sound that you get out of it is better. One of the things that I struggle with this setup is that I can't hear the changes that I'm making, essentially. So it's hard for me to dial in what amount of compression and especially EQ to make it sound good, you know? So that's the thing that I don't like. I really wish I had a setup that had the compressor, EQ, what else do you add on there? Maybe an exciter. But I wish I had a setup that had that stuff built into the line so that when I was monitoring it, I was hearing exactly what you're hearing, right? I hear it before it's processed. Right. And I have a good audio interface, but you know, for me to like monitor it in line after OBS has applied the plugins to it, there's enough of a delay that it bothers me. So I can't actively monitor it that way. Right. Looks like the sell-off was done. Yeah, that's... I mean, 5 points for the S&P 500 on a holiday was a pretty decent move, but yeah. And then, but then if I were to get a USB microphone, then my issue would be that I might still want to use it with XLR in some instances. Like I might want to use it with to record a video, my camera and stuff like that. So it would, I would be okay with doing one that has both the USB and the XLR output, I guess, but I think that the chances is that I get a Procaster. Procaster, and then I could get a pop filter to go over the front of it. Good morning, put spread. I didn't realize, so when I was all last week, I didn't realize that it was a holiday today. Because my scenario last week was like, after the Federal Reserve is done, you're probably going to see some selling come in. But now it's come into, okay, but on Monday it's a holiday. On Wednesday, Chairman Powell is speaking. On Thursday, you've got the rate decision from the UK. And so, I think that tomorrow is likely to be somewhat subdued as well, essentially. I think tomorrow is likely to be somewhat subdued as well. So I'm a little bit like... not the way that I saw this going down. Yeah, see, I don't think that it's because really what the upgrade that you get is an Shure SM7B. But I think to justify an SM7B, one, I would probably need to upgrade my audio interface too. But then at that point, you know, you're talking about spending almost $1,000 for something that I really don't think you're gonna get your value from, you know? So yeah, probably it should just go with the Procaster. I think that makes the most sense for our application. I thought that there was some better choices than that though. Do they have the pop filters and stuff? Compatible accessories. The thing that I have on here is essentially the same thing as that PSM1. Pretty close, at least. You have an NT1? I've thought about getting, so this is one of those things, is that I wanted to spend like $300 on a microphone for my camera setup so that I wouldn't have to have the microphone in front of me, you know? But I don't know if it really matters. I don't think it bothers me too much. Like having, like, to get really good sound with a microphone that would be off camera, I don't think it would. Nah. So I don't know if I'll ever do that. I need to make a video. I'm a little, what do you guys think? So, oh, actually, I know I can totally do this. I think that I will put out a video on the 26th. I've got it all ready to go. I just need to record it. Things are a little bit more open for this weekend. Yeah, I think that that's what I'll do. Because then after that, it's the 4th of July, right? But I want to put out that volume profile video. Oh, and there was somebody that had some data. So now that I'm back, I will have to look into to the data. So I need to write that down. I've got a ton of things to do today, man. Having been on vacation. Let's see here. Where's my pen? I don't know. Maybe I should just really work hard to get this one fixed, because I feel like that I can afford to spend, you know, I got some money sitting around, but I wanted to do some other stuff with it. Putting it into my desk and my rack setup and some computing power. My sticky notes are gone, or at least the color that I want is gone. What do we got here? Yellow, orange, pink, But where's the teal ones? Now this is bothering me. I'm gonna go behind the desk to see if I can find it. Okay. What was it that I was saying I needed to do? I don't even know now. Okay. My alligator pointing out that Euro morning was decent. And it's going to be interesting if tomorrow we get a big move. I don't know what's actually going to happen. I mean, I thought that this week would be a sell in treasuries, but yeah, you know what? I guess if we get like a windscreen for it, probably will sound better overall. Because I think the problem that I've had with my dynamic microphone is the plosives. Like this is sounding pretty good because I'm not having the plosive issues with it like right up next to my face. So sometimes when I'm recording for videos, I get the plosives. I hate it when I'm going back through the video. Oh, I hate that. Nothing drives me nuts more than bad sound. could just continue. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I remember when we were using this mic. Was it this microphone before that there would be complaints about background noise? So. Yeah, no, I definitely think I want to go for the dynamic. Man, I feel like I just had like the craziest like ADHD moment there a little earlier because I was like, okay, I need to go and find the things so I can write this down. But what was it that I was going to write down that I wanted to do? It wasn't just like look for a new microphone. What was it? Oh, jeez. A little bit movement of in the dollar there, but it's still pretty tame. Maybe I should get this rack mount UPS. So funny that like you know, 2 ticks in the S&P 500 is like a big move right now. There's a big candle on my chart right now. So I see that big orange candle and I'm like, oh, is something happening? And then I realize, oh yeah, it's nothing. Nothing's happening today. Oh yeah, you know, another thing that was been going on is that they're saying that BlackRock is going to apply to make an ETF. What's this thread? Why is BlackRock entering crypto a huge deal that shouldn't be disregarded? Yeah, so like my first thing is the reasons that a Bitcoin ETF was rejected before have not changed. In fact, I would say in many respects, the situation is worse. So why would the SEC approve an ETF for it now? Even if it's BlackRock that's asking for it. So I don't think that they're going to approve it. And something you could see happen is Bitcoin rally in anticipation of that, and then it gets smacked down and Bitcoin like sells off super, super hard. I think that's that's like my scenario number one that I can foresee happening, you know? So it's going to be interesting either way, right? But there's been a lot of talk about that, and I guess it would be because like crypto ain't got anything else going for it right now, right? Like the price action has been kind of awful. Oh yeah, that's right. So I was man, I am being super ADHD. You know what it is I just haven't had to focus for a week. We need to work on the Discord more. I mean, we've been talking about that before, but you know, Reddit going away, not that we did anything on Reddit, but it seems to me like Discord ends up being a place where a lot of community stuff happens. So I think I need to put more effort into making a Discord a place where there's lots of activity. I've been created these, like, there's like discussion forums you can make now. Well, oh yeah, that's right. The question earlier was, will there be a rate cut? Oh, somebody actually posted in the open discussion one. There you go. Cool. there's not as much activity there as I would like, but I think those are going okay. Bitcoin is, well, compared to other coins. Well, yeah, because everything is everything arbitrages and bases its price off of Bitcoin. That shouldn't be surprising to anybody. I mean, I guess you could say that at 2648 that Bitcoin hasn't done terrible this year, but it's definitely not doing what its proponents think that it should be. And especially if, you know, if we actually do end up getting more rate hikes later, that Bitcoin is going to puke so hard. Well, textbook bull flag. Well, such chart patterns are not very indicative of what's actually going to happen. Ignore any chart pattern you've heard about online, just ignore it. It's all bullshit. But is it? Now I'm actually curious though. Let's see here. I don't think I have. Oh, here it is. Be Bitcoin. Oh no, I don't. Oh no, I do have a daily Bitcoin. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I would not call that a bull flag. I mean, I could see how a chartist would kind of, you know, draw it like that, but I would say that's actually some quite disorganized price movements up in here ever since April, really. I mean, so first of all, this whole thing earlier, like all of this is, I think, suspicious, to be honest with you. Especially in terms of like when some of the moves happened and stuff like that. I think that one of the things that could be going on is that there are exchanges with wash trading and prop trading units that are kind of boosting the price and so forth. And especially here since May, these moves have been very suspicious, right? For instance, the one that was most suspicious to me was there was a big sell-off because there was legal action taken against Binance, and then the next day there was action taken against Coinbase, and Bitcoin sold on the Coinbase news as well, but not as much. And then later in the day, that magically floated back up and ended up higher on the day. So that to me is somebody coming in and saying, we got to do something, because if Bitcoin is able to go much lower, we're really screwed, right? And there is this thing where, like, man, I tell you what, if Bitcoin were to drop back below 20K, and definitely if they dropped below 15K, I think there'd be some really upset market participants, you know? Like, I think there could be some really ugly puking, because I did not feel, maybe my, you know, maybe all my calibrations are off, but when it was doing this stuff, it was not as severe as I thought it would be. This was great, but some of these like 2 or 3 day sell-offs were not. Yeah, I don't know. Am I asking for too much for Bitcoin? Probably I am. Oh, I didn't even see which areas I was circling. Sorry. These kind of, you know, there was a period in May of 2022 and June of 2022 where they really got. So that was the Sam Bankman-Fried stuff, right? I think so. You know, down in here, this happened, and then I thought, oh yeah, like it's probably going to continue. But then you started seeing buys coming magically out of nowhere. And I still say interest rates have a possibility of going higher. That will hurt Bitcoin, right? That's kind of the tough thing, though, is that, like, you're trying to predict future orders in Bitcoin. Well, you got, like, what's going on with interest rates and other currencies. That's, like, really the only thing that you can trade, because the rest of it is all just hype and popularity. I don't know if Bitcoin actually has, like, I kind of feel like everybody knows about Bitcoin at this point, and I'm really skeptical about any new money coming into it in the future. I think that most people have been burned and aren't doing that sort of thing. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But definitely sus behavior. And one of the things that you could be seeing happening is, like, some of those upswings in Bitcoin could be people moving stuff from other coins into Bitcoin. And if they were to switch off of Bitcoin and go into dollars, it would be ugly, right? Bitcoin did perform better than gold during the COVID run. Well, gold is under, so a lot of gold's movement is speculation as well. And I think that there's a very good case to be made that a lot of that speculation that typically would have gone into gold actually ended up going into Bitcoin. And gold had like a really good run there, like initially, and then it stalled, and it's been a crappy trade ever since, man. This is the same with silver. I think that silver still has high squeeze potential, but I don't know if it's ever actually going to happen. I don't know if it's ever actually going to happen. But I don't know if that's necessarily an argument to get into crypto, you know? Because the issue is still kind of like, it is possible that we have seen an all-time high in Bitcoin. Because, well, no, I take that back. Because as the next halvening, you know, that still probably pushes Bitcoin up. But I do think it's possible that you may have seen peak Bitcoin popularity. Like, in terms of, like, amount of internet traffic that is searching about cryptocurrency you know? Like, if you watch Google Trends, you might see it make a higher high, but that's just because there's, you know, the internet continues to grow and there's more people searching for things over time, right? But the interest this in the 2021 bull market was generally not as high as it was in 2017, right? And activity in Bitcoin communities and stuff have really, really died off. I think that especially after the Sam Bankman-Fried thing, like really shifted people into like, yeah, this is just everything that happens over there is a grift, you know? And I think it'd be hard for them to find new money. So we'll see. Because I think that the Bitcoin market's feeling on it is that eventually the Federal Reserve will reduce interest rates and will move back into a low interest rates all the time forever kind of environment. And then Bitcoin will outperform, right? So we'll see, but I'm saying I don't think I think it's declining in popularity overall. So it'll probably never go away. It'll probably continue to rise like overall, but I think that enough people have been burned on it that they're very cautious about putting their money into it, you know? And the regulation is probably not over, right? That's another thing. They've got me on TweetDeck preview again, and it just doesn't seem... as good as the old TweetDeck. It's just not the same as the old TweetDeck. I really don't understand what they're trying to do with it. Biden causes confusion after signing off speech with God Save the Queen. I saw that. That was super bizarre. Super bizarre. Are you gonna? Oh, certainly not. Certainly not going to take any trades today. Yeah, no, it's a holiday. I normally probably wouldn't actually even stream on a day like today, but we had just taken a whole week off, so I think it's justified. In fact, it's almost time to shut things down. I was surprised. I mean, I'm glad we have a lot of viewers today. It's usually a little bit quieter when I've been gone for a while and I come back, but like we got 18 right now. That's a little, we usually average between 20 and 24. So that's pretty good. So people were here, but you know, not as chatty today. I thought that people would want to say a lot about the Donald Trump indictment. I'm starting to realize now, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that people don't actually care about it. I'm not sure how, like, man, the Republican media reaction to Donald Trump being indicted, they were so mad. They're so mad about it. I don't understand the whole thing. Like, it does seem to me that we're getting like political prosecutions because they're arresting Donald Trump for basically the same thing that Hillary did, right? Like, why won't they ever go after the other people that have done this? It is kind of crazy, but I'm not sure that everyday Americans actually care. I think the media cares. I think conservative media wants to make a big deal out of it, but I don't think that people actually care because none of you guys were that interested in talking about it. You know? Like, when you get into the legal arguments, there's all sorts of legalese and stuff like that you can go so deep with it, but I don't know if anybody cares. I think the reality is that most people don't want either Donald Trump or Joe Biden. That if it ends up being Trump versus Biden again, that there's going to be some serious questions about how our democracy is working right now, because that doesn't seem right. Hey, we got 2 ticks down all of a sudden in the Treasury. Isn't that what we were saying? How it goes is like you sit there forever, and then when you stop paying attention to it, it moves. I think the pressure is still likely to be selling this week in the Treasuries, but for today, probably not worth touching. But yeah, I think I'm going to end just a little bit early here today so I can get everything ready for talking to work. But I will see you guys later. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So stay excellent, team.